just to start out and say welcome to everybody. Even here 9 years in, it continues to be amazing to me that people take time out of their lives to come and visit our project and to see it and to consider it for their own children. It's just, it is a huge honor to get to work with the kids that we get to work with. And I'd like to start out the evening by just saying if there's one big idea that we built this place on, it's this pretty simple idea. Engaged learning is better than disengaged learning. And I know intuitively that feels right, but a word like better is tricky, especially in this day and age of a focus on rigorous academics and curriculum and college and SAT scores and things like that. So maybe we could unpack this word better a little bit and highlight the fact that when we're learning, because we're fully engaged in what we're doing, those things that we're learning in that state are more durable than the kind of learning that happens when we're forcing ourselves to memorize a piece of a textbook or a curriculum detail. And that what we learn in this state is more accessible to us later. That means that the things that we learn are more valuable to us. If we can remember it later and apply it in a new context, then whatever it was that we learned back then, those years ago in 3rd grade or 12th grade or college, that stuff that stayed with us was the most valuable because we were able to apply it and integrate it for a longer period of our lives. And if it's more valuable, then that learning must be more effective. That learning that happens when we're fully engaged must be a more effective way to learn. And if what we care about is that this time they spend with us in our learning experiences in our school is valuable to them later in life, then we ought to use the most effective means possible to learn. So maybe what we could say is that engaged learning is building the foundations and habits of lifelong learning, rational thinking, and expanding creative capacity more than disengaged learning. Or for the sake of having something that we could say at a dinner table later, engaged learning is better than disengaged learning. This was made clear to me by a crazy project that changed my life forever. Back in 2005, here from the house that I'm talking to you from, I started a program called Tinkering School in my very own backyard. And these 8 kids showed me what they were capable of when they were fully committed to the work they were working on. And the things that we built in those early days of the camp, in those very first days of the camp, were incredible. This is a 20-foot bridge from a little studio out to a tree. Not only does it carry every student who worked on it, it carries every student plus every staff member plus 3 bags of cement. It was an incredibly strong bridge just built by these kids. And the thing that caught me off guard about this was that I had scheduled this to be a culminative event at the camp. I thought we would work our way up to building this bridge, and somewhere around Thursday or Friday on the camp, this would be this culminating moment. And this is the end of Monday afternoon. That's just how much I underestimated how much they could get done when they were really focused and excited about what they were working on. To this day, every kid on that bridge remembers the bridge, how it worked and why it held all that weight. Well, we needed a new project to get us to the end of the week, and what we came up with in conversation with the kids was, let's try and build a roller coaster. Well, we applied ourselves in the same way with those same long hours, And by the end of the week, after many 12-hour days,
3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
so here we were at this camp, learning that kids could build anything given the right opportunity. And where I had started out the week trepidatious about giving these children who I had never met before power tools and the ability to cut and modify wood and also possibly hurt themselves, what we discovered was explaining to them what the risks were led them to a state where they became responsible and they took responsibility for that privilege. Well, a few years later, when we had moved the camp to a new location out of my backyard, we were working late one day. The project wasn't going very well, and we were in the kitchen making dinner, this one student and I, and she was making the biggest salad she could as quickly as possible. I was scrambling a huge pan full of eggs, and the rest of the team, the kids, were just laid around the dining table with their head on their arms, moaning about what a long day it was and how hard the project was. And my friend who was making salad, she like stopped cutting, and it like registered to my tired brain that she had stopped cutting, and I thought she'd hurt herself. And I turned around and I looked at her and I said, "Are you okay?" And she looked into the distance for a moment and she said, "I've never worked this hard in my life. Why can't school be more like this?" Now, this is a young woman. She was in the freshman in high school at that point, in one of the most academic schools in the Bay Area. Like, she just this year graduated from MIT with a degree in mechanical engineering and was immediately hired by SpaceX. So this is a woman who knows what hard work is. And what she really meant was, why can't the hard work I do at school be because coming from my commitment, not because someone told me to do it? Well, I wondered the same question, and that led me to rent a 10,000 square foot warehouse in San Francisco and start a project I call Brightworks, a K through 12 school where the kids would be as committed to learning, as committed to education as we were as staff, because they couldn't help themselves. We wondered what that would be like. We started with a bare floor and imagined what our school would be like and built it with the students. This was a unique opportunity for us to create something where the student could truly be the collaborator with their educator.